These children are now being referred to as school refusers, a perhaps crude term for kids in emotional stress who can't face being in the classroom.
It's honestly like a zoo. Like, that's how crazy it is, and I just couldn't cope.
I got bullied every day, and my old school made me feel like I was locked up in a cage.
It's become such a big issue that a parliamentary inquiry is underway to look at how to address the problem.
Our children are not robots, they are people.
Come on, mate. We have to try, mate. We try every day. Freddie, it's time to go. Come on, let's do it. Sausage, come on, can you please hop out?
We've really got the perfect storm. Adolescent mental health issues on the rise, a teacher workforce crisis, and we've just come out of COVID lockdowns.
I had my parents coming, yelling at me, telling me that I'm lazy, I need to get out of bed. All of my energy was just focused on staying alive.
What have we got here? Mention of suicidal ideation, trigger warning, self-harm, suicide.
Oh, they just need tough love. If that worked, my child would be at school.
I'm sure that there'll be people there saying to their TV, that woman just needs to grow a backbone and tell her kids what's what. Before it happened to me, I was one of those parents.
It's not like I just want to live my life as a disappointment. Like, I love learning.
Every child is worth something.
We really need to address it before we lose a whole lot of kids from the education system.
Freddie, it's time to go now. Come on, mate, hop up, please. It's time to go. Frida? Chicken? Hey, come on, darling, please hop up. Mate, it's time to go to school. It's a good day today to be at school.
Mum, stop talking about school so much.
Ow, ow, please don't kick me. Ugh. You're like jelly today. Come on, darling. Let's go. Freddie, come on, darling. Mate, we've got to get going, honey. Come on. I've had lots of time this morning to get ready. Now it's time to go. Try, all right?
Can you bring your bag and cake?
Can you carry this one then, please? Freddie! Fred, come on, dude. Come on, mate. We have to try, mate. We try every day. That's the deal. Come on. Let's go, please. Freddie, come on. You go. Okay, we're out of the car. Darling, what's going on? Why is that little sauce?
I don't know.
Fred, no. Mate, it's time to go up to school. Frida. Dude. Fred, please don't take your shoes off. We're going up to the classroom. Honey, I need to go to work. Freddie, can I just talk to you for a sec? I feel like this is probably not going to happen today, is it, mate? All right, well, let's go home. But I have to do some work for a while when I get home, okay? Because it's really late. It's like 10 o'clock already.
There's nothing I can do. Mom, I'm bored.
I wish I could play with you, chicken, but I just have to get this done. Because there's other people waiting on my work. Hey, please don't pull on my chair, mate. Okay. I get a bit frustrated when you pull on my chair, so I just have to do this, okay?
I want to sit on your lap.
Yeah. Hey, I need my mouse. Whoa. I need that to work, chicken. Ideally, I would be sitting down with her and doing some educational stuff, but I don't have capacity to do that. So she's basically left to her own devices, you know? I'm trying to keep my job here. I've thought a lot about having to do homeschooling with Fred, but I can't afford to. It started in kindergarten. Fred was having trouble going into school. Some days we couldn't even get out of the house. Some days we would get as far as the footpath and then she couldn't go in. And then sometimes you would just run away, hey Fred. And one term she got down to, I think it was less than 20% attendance. It was very low. She was having a lot of trouble. Partly because Friedy masks her autism. She does appear like a model student in the classroom. But the days that she did end up staying at school, she would get home and just fall apart. In the early days, I would drag her to the classroom door and then her teacher would literally drag her inside and shut the door so she was trapped in there. And I'm talking like a 5-year-old child being bodily pulled by a full-grown adult and then separated from their parent with a door that's locked. And that traumatized her so much. Like, I'm ashamed of that. And I didn't know better. I didn't know any better. Oh, they just need tough love. If that worked, my child would be at school. You try the reward charts, you try making home boring so they don't want to be here. None of the stuff that the experts say you should do works.
No, this is my crab.
Oh no, you crab like that. I haven't seen you do the crab dance for a while, actually. Oh my God, kiddo, you make me laugh every single day. You see other families, their kids just happily going to school and getting to know each other at school drop-off and school pick-up, and you feel like you're just in this complete other world. That's a really lonely and confusing and shameful world because you assume that you're the problem because everyone tells you that you're the problem. And Fred, you know, you said to me a few times, I just don't know why it's so hard for me. I wish it was easy for me like the other kids. And that's what you've said all along, not that I don't want to go to school. I can't.
It's boring when I don't go to school, and that's why I get a bit upset when I usually don't make it to school because I really want to, but somehow I don't know how to get there.
Yeah. The Department of Education talks all about inclusive education. Every child's entitled to an education, but you know, they don't seem to understand what autistic kids need, what ADHD kids need. We've found that individual teachers are wonderful and they try really hard, but schools, they seem to only really cater to this fairly narrow range of brains and kids, right? And that's a real shame. I would much rather her be well than be at school all the time. If her having perfect attendance, if the cost of that is her mental health, it's not worth it. It just isn't worth it.
And this might sound a little controversial. You might think I've got it round the wrong way. But why would kids bother coming to your school? In a time where attendance has really shot down after sort of COVID, we've seen sort of rates really kick down last year, kicking back right here.
When a school attendance problem is emerging, we don't necessarily know what type it is. Maybe it's school refusal, maybe it's school withdrawal. We certainly know from young people who we work with that what we were finding is that more and more young people weren't attending school, and we were trying to work out why. And it's not just an Australian problem. This is something that is happening internationally, and it has been researched internationally.
We really don't know how many children and teens in Australia are refusing school, and there's been a lot of concern in the community that rates have really skyrocketed since the pandemic. Departments of education don't routinely collect this data, but this is critical data. It might be that the problem is much larger than we expect. I sometimes think of it like school refusal is a child waving a big flag. They're saying, I'm not managing, I'm not coping. And for some, their methods of showing their distress can be quite extreme. And I've worked with parents who've had knives pulled on them by their kids, are so desperate, so anxious in the morning to avoid going to school. But the main reason kids miss school, this isn't isolated kids here and there. It's in every school around Australia. From private schools, Catholic schools, public schools, it's across the spectrum.
Keep going. Keep going. I could find it on my phone. Oh, there you go.
There we go. So there's 2,199 member requests waiting.
Yeah. And what's the longest person who's been waiting?
Yes,
15 weeks.
16 weeks.
16 weeks even.
And I feel a lot of pressure to let them in because, you know, there's some quite desperate parents in there that really need the support.
So we had lots of distressed posts coming through and lots of distressed parents.
So much of what actually is underlying that parent frustration is essentially a lot of fear. I know certainly in New South Wales, for us, it was a feeling of almost desperation to get your child to go because you knew that it was actually a legal matter. Oh my God, it's the law. I'm going to get in big trouble.
Why is it? What have we got here? Mention of suicidal ideation, trigger warning, self-harm, suicide, heartbroken, or something to do with legal threats as well. It's just non-stop, 7 days a week. The posts come through where people are just feeling a real sense of urgency about, I've got to be at work and my child won't get out of bed. He's saying he's feeling like ending his life. Oh my God, what do I do? I just find it absurd that the greatest support that the community has out there for this kind of issue is a Facebook group. I just actually don't know how long we can sustain it because we all are carrying a huge personal load ourselves and we're working around the clock. And I know, certainly with my own experience, that it's not just the children that end up isolated, it's actually the parents as well, because quite often you have to quit working to look after your child. So all of a sudden your world gets very, very small. But to be able to step into this arena where it's like, oh my goodness, there's thousands and thousands of other people that are going through this, it's amazing.
You right, Johnny? You okay?
Can you read it for me as well?
Background to the Gaza-Israel conflict.
What are the religions involved?
I'm pretty sure Jewish, Muslim, and what was the third?
They're the two main ones.
Yeah.
That's the Gaza Strip there. And you're going to start writing with your subheadings, and eventually you're going to become diplomats and representing the two different groups that are
son's reaction to having to go to school every day, it was so extreme. Lots and lots of crying, begging. His body would just shake like a terrified puppy. He would try and jump out of the car. He was putting himself in some very, very dangerous positions. Jake, on the other hand, he was more silent. Hiding the uniform, hiding his school bag. I remember at one point finding him trying to set his uniform actually on fire. I just could not believe that this was happening because I had wonderful memories from primary school and the sort of kid that, I ended up being like school captain and then going on to high school and I mean, I went to uni for nearly 10 years. You have all sorts of wild visions like, oh my God, I'm going to end up with these adult sons living in my basement. They're going to be gamers and on the dole for the rest of their life. What's going to become of them? Would you like a peanut butter sandwich or a cheesy mac or something? William, he is autistic and has ADHD and huge anxiety. He's also tested as intellectually gifted, so he was a very bright child.
From kindergarten, it was already just like 30 kids all in one classroom, one teacher screaming, the smells in the bathrooms, like it just is crazy. Like people are just like vandalizing it, like throwing toilet paper everywhere. It's honestly like a zoo. Like that's how crazy it is. And I just couldn't cope. And I was just like, man, like I honestly can't do this for 13 more years every day. Like, I don't know how to explain, but I'd put on like this fake personality where it looked like I was enjoying it and it looked like I was fine. But deep down inside, like it was just physically draining and just mentally, like, I just hated it.
Square, hexagon, quadrilateral, pentagon. Do you remember what the tool was that we used to measure angles? Yeah, that's...
So I guess it is somewhat a little bit lonely. I do respect school and like the whole social thing, but
this is the angle that you just...
if there was a school that like suited to my needs and like, I reckon I definitely could go back. But just like the way the school system is in like Australia, it's just, I can't.
I'm not going out there now. Yeah. Too embarrassing.
We had tried everything at the stage. We had a psychiatrist on board, psychologist, OT, every professional under the sun. And the teachers at his school were so lovely. Like everybody was trying their best. But still, my son's attendance, it dropped to a certain point where it seemed like it must be out of the hands of the school. So then the department actually then handed us a letter threatening legal action. So in the end, our hand was forced and we had to withdraw and start homeschooling. And this is something that we hear in the School Can't group all of the time. Families feeling like they are kind of forced into homeschooling. When I think about it, it really pisses me off, thinking, why should my children be excluded?
Always running behind on everything. Dude, Fred! Breakfast! So I'm giving you 5 minutes warning that we're going to go to the park in 5 minutes. Do you understand me?
Help.
Help, 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 he says while eating a waffle. All right, get ready and then we're going. Laminate these and we'll take them with us and see if we have any luck. So it's just a scavenger hunt list and it'll be with their different senses. That covers like health, that covers ethics, that'll cover STEM. We'll be able to bring in literacy and numeracy. So yeah, that's the plan for today. We'll see how we go. I've got stuff on the thing. It's very, very child-led. For Henry, it's dinosaurs. He's really interested in them, so I try and source dinosaur-themed activities. Whereas for Fred, he's really into insects at the moment. Fred, we're putting our sneakers on in 1 sec. Please finish your level. Oh, I know. H? Oh no, Fred. So I have Henry, who is 10, and I have Freddie, who is 6. Alright, let's go see what Henry needs. Oh, let's go, off to the park. Both of my kids are autistic and ADHD. Stop, because he's on my back. Can I have stop, let go, walk ahead. Please look. They are homeschooled children. Hey guys, I think there's daycare kids on the Flying Fox, hang on. And it is not something that any of us want to be doing. So guys, listen to a bird chirp. Okay, so we've got to be silent while we listen for a bird chirp so we can tick that off. Tell me who, you heard one? Yeah. Okay, you can tick that section when we're off the swings. Oh, I heard it too, H. Your hearing's better than mine. I was so reluctant, and I still am. I don't like doing it. It's exhausting. I want to be at work. I want to be contributing to society. I want to be earning an income for my family. I want to be setting an example for my kids. So it says tactile. Do you know what tactile means? No. That tells you the... And yet I don't have any other choice. There's nowhere for my children to go that I can drop them off in the morning and be confident that they will be okay when I pick them up. What is another opposite? Let's try and think of one. Look, I'd rather have a kid who is out of the school system and a kid that I'm having to homeschool than a kid who is no longer alive. And that was the point where we're at. What's it off? Can you tell what kind of bird? Cool.
That means you get it forever.
That is about all of the formal education that I'm able to get done with my kids on a day when it's not a great day. And there are many, many, many days like today where what we get done is just the bare minimum. And that's part of my worry. It is nowhere near enough work that they're getting done. There is nowhere near enough learning going on. Okay. And I really worry that as they get older, the longer we homeschool, they're going to fall more and more behind. And then that's going to make it harder for them to retransition back into the school system, which has always been the goal. This has never been the we're going to homeschool their whole school lives. It's always been an emergency for now measure. It just doesn't seem to have an end. That's Fred in his uniform at school. And obviously we can see when Fred finds it hard at school, that's the sort of thing we get. Poor Fred, like, you can't suspend 5-year-old kids, it's ridiculous. What on earth is that going to achieve? This was Henry the last year that he attended school. It's sad. Probably the last school photo he'll ever be in. Henry has not been at school since June of 2021. Do you remember this? I dropped him off at school one day and he just broke. He was clinging to me, he was refusing to go in. Science. And his behaviour escalated to the point that it was unsafe. He was in complete and utter crisis. What did he go at? Do you want to read it to me? There was no one on the student services team who was there that day, so no social worker, no youth worker, no case manager for Henry, no school psychologist, no school counsellor. There was no one.
River Rapids.
And he was removed by ambulance. And it was absolutely heartbreaking. Genius. Guys! So when you put in your registration paperwork for home education, you get sent out this auto-reply email explaining moderators are appointed to evaluate the educational program, evaluate whether the student is making satisfactory progress. And here we go, concerns, section 53 provides for a cancellation of home education registration if the child's educational progress is not satisfactory. Hey, we're going to do something for homeschool. So have a think if you would like to read a book together or if you would like to do a science experiment. Agree?
No!
But okay.
Help! Help!
Mate. Going to...
Help!
Okay. Okay.
Help!
I will come back and check.
Help!
Would you like me to stay with you or go away? So that went well. It's been a difficult week because I put my formal paperwork in, like, it wasn't that long ago. And all of a sudden, like, this massive load of anxiety comes on.
Stop, okay? Don't say the word homeschooling out loud this week. You have those moments where you go, oh gosh, I haven't done anything, I'm not teaching them, they're not learning. And now you've received a letter that says, you don't do it right, you're coming back here.
And it also says, like, you thought you got away. Look, fist is still here. We can still control you.
At the end of the day, you have plenty of evidence that shows you're doing the right thing for your kids.
Thank you.
Go and have a rest, enjoy your beautiful kids, and I'll see you soon.
I'm so scared. Like, what if I fuck this up?
I think it's fair to say that the education system is in crisis. We've seen a consistent decline of student results. We're also seeing attendance rates go down. And we're seeing teachers leave the profession in droves, and for many of them it's because you feel like you can't help the students in front of you.
This is certainly an issue that's really close to my heart as a teacher of nearly 30 years.
There'll be some in society that will just say, oh, the kids just need a kick in the pants to get to school.
All the kicking in the pants isn't going to make any difference because the behaviour is out of the child's conscious control.
There were times during the inquiry that I found listening to the testimony really difficult.
Would you like to take a minute?
To know that there are times when you've actually failed students because you haven't had a full understanding of the issue.
I think it's really difficult for a school education system to understand that it causes trauma, right or wrong, and no one intentionally meant for that to happen, but it has occurred.
We heard today that 1 in 4 students has some sort of mental health challenge. Right. You know, increasingly our classrooms are becoming more and more complex.
Meeting the needs of individual students doesn't always have to be a complicated and expensive exercise.
What's clear is that there is no consistency in how wellbeing and mental health is addressed in schools and within curriculums.
We pretty much have a one-size-fits-all education system at the moment. You know, this is the model of education that we had over 100 years ago. The world is very different now, young people are very different now, and so as long as we continue to do education the way we are, large numbers of students just sitting at desks in classrooms, I think we're only going to see this problem increase. The good news is that we know that there are things that work. Early intervention, smaller class sizes, flexible campuses, interest-led learning. All of these things work to engage young people and get them back into education.
let you in. Oh, you've got a new backpack. Is Maddie there to open the gate for you? Morning, Ben. Morning, Daniel. Welcome to school. Thanks for coming in. Morning. Morning, Jack.
Morning, Jack.
Lovely to see you, mate. Thanks for coming to school.
Oh, here comes Ethan.
Oh, Ethan's
Here
just
comes
walking
Ethan.
Morning, Ethan. Morning. So good to see you, mate. Yeah. Looking forward to school? Yeah. Shall I take you
I've worked in alternative education for about 12 years. I mean, I'm just deeply, deeply passionate about ensuring that every single child has access to an education.
All right, we'll go this way.
We have 80 students enrolled, and we only have 8 students per class. So we're incredibly lucky in terms of how we're resourced.
Alrighty. Morning, Maddie. How are you feeling?
And we do have a wait list at the moment. It is very large, up to about 100 on a wait list. Because what we do, I think, first and foremost, is create an environment of physical and emotional safety, which really enables them to create the building blocks that they need to succeed academically. And no child can learn if they don't feel safe.
So what sound are we listening for? A. A. Rain. Who would like to come and do that? Ethan, can you come and point to the sound? A. That's right, one sound. Good job. So everyone say the sounds as you write them. When Ethan first started, he was quite low in all areas of the curriculum. You know, he couldn't read, you know, quite low in maths as well. A, may, wait. Now you're quick this morning, Eth. Good boy.
He was afraid of work. There was a fear of failure. And that's actually common amongst many of our children because they've experienced so much failure. He would literally beat himself up. He would bite or pull his hair and he would say, I'm so dumb. That's the thing that upset him most, was that he thought he was stupid.
Eth, can you collect these for me, please, darling? All right. Excellent. Let's go. Our goal is for them to be able to transition back into a mainstream school, and we'll help him go down that path.
Can I have a go? I just patted a chicken.
Ethan's attending mainstream school wasn't great. The struggle started from grade prep. I actually went in one day and observed what was happening in the classroom, and I was just shocked with how he was treated from the others. He was kind of pushed to the side. So instead of sitting there and writing a sentence like the other children were doing, they just said, oh, just draw a picture. It pushed him further and further away from being able to learn. He was becoming more and more disengaged. So he would go around, he would kick windows, he would break things, he would throw things. There were times where he even threatened to harm himself because he didn't want to be there. He didn't want to be around that environment anymore.
I refused to go to my old school because it wasn't safe for me. I got bullied every day. So my old school made me feel like I was locked up in a cage.
Yeah, I used to say to you that everyone has to go to school, when you used to fight back a lot.
Yeah.
And you used to say, I don't want to go, I don't want to go. And after COVID, it became harder, didn't it?
Yeah.
So then it got to a point where he was kind of, I suppose, put in the too hard basket in a sense. And they said, well, we don't know what else to do. I was really scared for his future. You always imagine what your child can be when they get older, and I was kind of at a point where I don't know where he's going to be. How did you feel about going down the wrong path?
I felt like I wouldn't actually get a job when I get older. I would be homeless living on the side of the road. That's all.
What about now? How do you feel?
I feel like I got more hope in myself.
The mainstream schooling system just isn't designed to meet the needs of diverse children and young people. And then how a student interprets that is they don't want me here. And so it sort of starts this cycle, I guess, of disengagement. And their risk of other pathways increases significantly. Their risk of ending up in youth justice with significant mental health challenges. And there's research to show that the cost of that is far greater than the cost of just investing in a child's education, even if it does cost more than the average student. I might need to go deal with that, Sasha. If he goes, he'll really go, so I might move you. Have we locked the front door? Okay, cool. Maybe just come out here because we might break a window. I would love to just go out there and give him a really big hug. Yeah, because sometimes that's what they're telling us they need in those moments is just a little bit of extra care. No matter what students do, we know that that's not a representation of who they are.
Hi. Hi. How are you? How are you? Billy's very excited to see you. Is she nice and soft? Yeah. So, dogs can't tell us with their words how they're feeling. They can tell us more with their body.
No child left behind is definitely not a reality, I wouldn't say, because Ethan was left behind.
Billy, shake.
Ethan, you know, when he came here, he couldn't read, couldn't write, couldn't do anything, and now...
Couldn't even spell my name.
Couldn't even spell your name. But now he's taking on board the learning that he has to the point where he can go back to mainstream school next year.
I'm proud of myself.
Every child is worth something. And that will bring that to society when they get older. I mean, goodness knows what would have happened, you know, if Ethan had not have come here.
I have the urge to just scream
Ready?
into it.
Why would you do that? That is so weird. It was so strange. Morning.
Hi.
Morning. How are you going? So good. Loving life. It's a wonderful day.
100%.
100%. 110% actually. Hi, Christopher.
Morning, honey buns.
Hayley, would you like to bring your daily planner and a pen? All right, welcome. And we are halfway through week 4.
It's week 4?
I knew that.
It's gone super quick.
Yeah, I knew that.
All right, I wanted to touch base with both of you around what this term's project's going to be. I'd really like to get all of these.
I've been going here almost a full year. I was very excited about starting here because I didn't want to have to drop out of school. I had like a massive plan for my future, but then it was like all ripped away from me because I got unwell. Here, I got like a second chance, I guess. We get to like personalize our space. We get like a desk and like the wall. Here, I have a picture of a cow on a skateboard. It's very relaxed here. You can like just show up in pajamas, which I have done a few times. But we don't just come here and get to do whatever we want. We do actually have to do work.
Alrighty. So in relation to empirical reasoning, you're looking at researching colour theory experiment. Do you have any sort of hypothesis about what you think might be the outcome of that research?
We do project-based learning, so it's all based around my interests. And we have to show that we've hit every part of the curriculum in that project. And I do love learning, and it's helped me get back into that. I'm just gonna paint this term. I really like realism.
Yep. Are there any different mediums you're thinking about exploring, or just painting this
clay.
time? Clay?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
At the start, I would come for like a few hours a day, and not every day a week. And now I show up pretty much every single day.
Next year. What? Oh yeah, school. It's only gonna be like 2 weeks.
Well, in primary school, I was in the top classes for everything, but I started getting depressed in like year 5. I started not going to school, and then I dropped down.
That's so weird, oh my God.
It kind of got worse. I'd start having like a few weeks at a time off of school. Then last year, year 9, my attendance was terrible. It was at 7%. I would just miss pretty much every single day. And I really wanted to get there, but I couldn't get out of bed. Most days I'd lie in my room, like just in my bed, in the dark, doing nothing. And then I had my parents coming and like yelling at me, telling me that I'm lazy, I'm not doing enough, I need to get out of bed. I got the light turned on, like the blinds opened, the bed sheets pulled off, stuff like that.
Just going back to the start, oops. Unjustified absence. Your daughter has been marked absent for school. This absence has been recorded as unexplained or unjustified. Please explain this absence. Yeah, but you see like 21st of November, 22nd of November, 23rd of November, so you're just getting it every day. And I was thinking she was just being lazy at first. And there are definitely times where I said to her, look, you just need to go to school because I need to go to work. You know, I was a single dad, 2 kids, you know, and you're only human, and sometimes you lose your temper or you yell, or, you know, or actually, which is worse, a couple of times she's seen me cry, and I think that's even worse because then the guilt that she gets is a lot worse.
My school didn't react very well to it, and they started like threatening, fining us and stuff like that. And if you don't pay these fines, then you're going to have to go to court.
Yeah, I think they told us it was like a $10,000 or $11,000 fine. I think they were trying to scare Hayley a little bit into, you have to come to school. It put a lot of pressure on us because we're then trying to push it. You know, you just have to turn up, like you have to show you're trying.
I just wanted to focus on getting better and getting better enough to want to live, but I couldn't because school was such a big pressure.
And she sort of said, I just can't do it. I can't get out of bed. And she started telling me why with a lot of tears because we had a big fight. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, oh my God, this is depression. Like, I'm a mental health nurse by trade and have done mental health nursing for years. I couldn't believe I hadn't picked up on it. So that's when we got psychologists and eventually a psychiatrist and all that sort of thing. But it took a long time. To the school's credit, we started talking to the deputy principal and she was excellent. So she put a plan in place with Hayley. And she went, oh no, you're doing everything that you need to do. There's no way you get fined. I found out she was cutting herself, so I saw some scratches to start with on her arms, but then she started really prolifically cutting. That crushing weight of having to be at school really made it hard. You know, having a child doing that to themselves is really hard. And working in the industry, knowing what the outcomes can be. You know, we don't report youth suicide rates for a good reason, but they're huge. So, you know, I think most people think, oh no, that can never happen. I know it does. So that was very hard. Yeah, well, she'll be coming out in about 2 minutes. It's nice being able to come and pick her up from school and, yeah, have her attending. And I can see a future for her well and truly because of this school. Oh, the bottle's about to fall out. Oh, did you get your results back for your tests?
Minimum standards.
Yeah, the minimum standards.
Yeah, I got 4 on both of them, which is the highest mark.
Oh, you got oh, excellent.
Bye.
Bye. You could say that, yes, there's a lot more money spent on these kids, I suppose, for these special school. It's a hell of a lot more money if she goes to hospital. Oh, yeah. If schools like this can help get kids well and they're productive members of society, that's really good. I know Hayley hates the term school refusal. And I agree with her, you know, she was never refusing to go to school, she just couldn't do it.
My attendance is at 85% now. I feel very optimistic about my future. I know I'm going to be a psychologist. I know I'm going to get a little cottage house and have 2 cats and a dog and a bird and hopefully a goat.
If this program has raised concerns for you, you can contact one of these services.